Chicagoland Speedway is one of my personal favorite mile-and-a-half tracks. It opened in July of 2001 and hosted a Cup Series date until 2019. NASCAR and Indycar fans know of this Chicago track, but those same ones may have never heard of the one before it. This is Abandoned Tracks Chicago Motor Speedway.
Qualifying for the Target Grand Prix of Chicago at the brand new and beautiful Chicago Speedway. Chip Ganassi's dream is indeed coming true today.
Chicago Motor Speedway operated as both an auto and horse racing track. For decades, the track operated as Sportsman Park, one of the premier destinations for horse racing in the area. Located right across the street was the Hawthorne Racecourse, which currently hosts the Illinois Derby. Auto racing came into play in 1997 when Chip Ganassi led a group of investors to put in just over $70 million in upgrades. They wanted a kart race near the city of Chicago, and this was an ideal place to have it. The track's location was in Cicero, which is only 15 minutes away from Chicago. Compare it with Chicagoland Speedway's location of Joliet, and it's 35 minutes further away. The first auto race took place on August 22, 1999. The weekend included Al Unser Jr. having a serious crash but still being able to race, and Max Papis scoring the track's first pole. But trying to get the first race laps ran on the track was a little more difficult than anticipated.
Field aligns itself. Acceleration scheduled to start just off of this corner. A lot of questions to be answered here today. The track has not been run in, so there's not as much rubber on it as say it will have next year. They wave off the start. Wave it off once again. Off the corner, Blundell is well back. And they wave it off again. Whoa, Max almost loses it there. And they wave it off again. This time we get a green.
Nearly 67,000 attended the inaugural race, making it a near sellout. It was put towards the end of the season, specifically the 15th race out of 20. Eventual champion Juan Pablo Montoya dominated the race, leading 132 laps and scoring the victory for Chip Ganassi. But also making the headlines post-race were two separate controversies.
Restart on lap 99, Dario, Dario takes the lead away from Montoya, but in third and fourth, Andretti and Tracy wreck each other, and Michael less than amused.
Typical Paul Tracy driving, gonna kill somebody. And I'm lucky to be walking. We both had a good race going, and he puts me down. I had nowhere to go, and I can't believe what he did. Why? What is he thinking? I don't understand. Does he have a death wish? Is he trying to kill us both? I don't know.
The flagger was kind of half-heartedly throwing the blue flag at Robbie 70 times, and I expected some sort of a black flag to come out, some sort of warning, and we talked to the kart officials to go down there, and nothing happened, so, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what can be done if we don't have proper leadership.
Looking back, you could say that the inaugural race was really the track's peak, sadly. This was upgraded specifically for kart races, and this took place after the whole Indycar split. The early 2000s were the beginning of the kart's demise, and as a result, not as many fans showed up. But they weren't the track's only race. They also hosted NASCAR races. However, this was the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. The 2000 and 2001 races attracted very sparse crowds, and I think I'm being a little too kind with that statement. While Joe Ruttman and Scott Riggs went on to win both of the races, the most memorable moment that took place in the Truck Series at this track happened in the 2001 race involving a very young Kyle Busch.
There is a youngster. We do meet a youngster, by the way, driving the 99, the Eldon Ford. Great day for Eldon. They've had a pretty good year all year, but this young man, remember the name, Kyle Busch. Great pit stops. And how about Kyle Busch in the Eldon Ford? The 16-year-old stayed on the racetrack. 16 years, 3 months, and 16 days. In 2 weeks, he goes back to school. I can see the note now. Dear Mr. Rouse, please excuse Kyle Busch from racing today. He has a history test.
Well, Coy let him go, get down into turn 1 before Coy. He needs to get a good restart, Doc.
And Kyle Busch has pulled up across the top of the racetrack.
Got to be out of gas. Got to be out of gas.
And his truck has come to a halt as the caution comes back out. with just 12 laps to go.
A 16-year-old Kyle Busch showcased his talents in this race and hasn't looked back since. Unfortunately, this would be the final NASCAR race out of the top 3 series to race at the track, along with NASCAR's Midwest Series never returning to the track after 2000. The ASA National Tour Series would race here from 2000 to 2001, with the most notable winner being a young Johnny Sauter. Chicago Motor Speedway appeared in the 2001 movie Driven, with them doing some filming during the inaugural race weekend, and even went as far as hosting concerts in 1999 and 2000. When you put this all together on paper, you have to wonder why this track didn't succeed. It already had decades of history, was in an ideal location close to Chicago. How could this have failed? Well, it's a pretty simple answer. Timing. A month after Chicago Motor Speedway's first auto race, ground had officially broke on a future track in Joliet, the now well-known Chicagoland Speedway. It officially opened in July of 2001, hosting races for both NASCAR and the Indy Racing League. Both of these series were increasing in popularity, while the kart series was about to wither and die. This switch in power became apparent by 2002, when kart lost their TV deal with ESPN and ABC, and had to pay CBS to cover their races. The final race in 2002 had the worst attendance among the 4, and the on-track product was not even close to being as exciting as Indy Racing Leagues on Chicagoland. This would turn out to be the final race ever at Chicago Motor Speedway. After 2002, the track was officially closed a year later, and the few remaining horse races would be transferred to Hawthorne. The same year it closed down, the town of Cicero would purchase the track for $18 million. By 2005, the town began tearing down the main grandstands, and in 2008, it was revealed they were going to get rid of the remaining structures to make way for a potential shopping center. Located on the left, this is one of the final pictures taken of the track before it was completely demolished. Today, you can find a Walmart Supercenter located on the eastern portion, and on the western portion, a Warts Beverage Group distribution center. The Hawthorne Racecourse is still opened and operating today right across the street. A huge shout out to Fly Guy for taking this footage, and if you want to see more of it, the link to his video is down in the description below. In conclusion, the Chicago Motor Speedway has to be one of the biggest failures in all of racing history, costing $70 million to upgrade only for it to be officially closed in less than 5 years. Because of Chicagoland Speedway, the sudden decline of kart, and fans in Cicero just not being as interested in racing, this track failed and is mostly forgotten today. And once again, that'll do it for another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Black Flags Matter. Catch you next time.